Have you ever looked at your life and thought, well, nothing's really wrong, so how come this doesn't feel like me anymore? Now you're still doing things the same way, same routine, being around the same people, but from the outside, everything looks like it's fine, but on the inside, something feels different. Now, your life probably isn't falling apart, and you probably are not going through some life crisis either. Maybe you've just simply outgrown the way that you're living. And honestly, these signs are not always obvious. Sometimes these signs show up as boredom or frustration or, just feeling like you're going through the motions. So today I want to talk about how to recognize when your life no longer fits the person that you're becoming and what that feeling may actually be telling you. Welcome to the Becoming Room with Ritchie. This is where we have honest conversations about growth, change, and becoming intentional about the lives that we're living. Here's what can make this so confusing. Sometimes the things that we've outgrown aren't necessarily bad things. They may have actually been good for us. So that can leave you wondering, how can something good no longer be right for me? A relationship might have been meaningful. A routine that you had may have served you well. A version of yourself may have helped you survive a very difficult season, but sometimes that doesn't have to become bad before you're allowed to grow beyond it. Now, there are signs of growth that we often ignore because it doesn't always look like growth. And one of the first signs is what used to fulfill you doesn't anymore. Sometimes we keep living according to the decisions that were made by the old version of ourselves. Sometimes the things that you once looked forward to may start to feel routine. Something that once energized you or even excited you may not even have that same effect anymore. And that doesn't necessarily mean that something's wrong with it. It just simply means that you've changed. You feel restless and you really don't even know why. In reality, most of us get rid of uncomfortable feelings as much as possible. But the restlessness can actually tell you something. Instead of saying, how do I make this feeling go away? Try asking yourself, what is this feeling actually trying to show me? Something in your life might need your attention. Maybe you need more space. Maybe you need a different rhythm. Maybe there's a part of you that's been quiet for a long time and it's finally time to be heard. You might be just going through the motions. You wake up, you work. You handle your responsibilities, you come home, and rinse and repeat, as they say. You're doing everything that you're supposed to do, but somewhere along the way, you start feeling disconnected from your own life. And that brings up an important question. When was the last time that you felt really present in your own life? I'm not talking about distractions, not rushing to the next thing, not checking another responsibility off the list, but actually present. Because you're starting to want something different. And I'm not talking about you suddenly quit your job, you want to move across the country, you want to chase some big, huge new dream. Sometimes what you want is just much simpler than that. You might want more peace, better health, more creativity, more time, or maybe just a slower, more intentional way of living. And I think this is an important point. Outgrowing your life doesn't necessarily mean that you need a new life. It may mean that you just need a new way of living the life that you already have. And that's a big difference because growth doesn't always require blowing everything up. Sometimes it starts with just paying attention to what feels different, what doesn't fit anymore, and what you're craving and who you're becoming. Once you realize that something doesn't fit anymore, another question usually shows up. Why is it so hard to let go? Because recognizing that you've outgrown something is one thing, but actually releasing it is a whole different conversation. And that's what I'd like to talk about next. If this connected with you, then I want you to send me a message in the comments. What's something in your life that you've outgrown? If you want to keep having conversations like this, subscribe and join the Becoming Room with Ritchie.